famous Firebird International Raceway in the desert outside Phoenix, Arizona. And once a year, the top professional touring nitro funny cars come here to compete, to feel the fury, the power, the drama, the fire in the pipe. Flames 10 feet tall, ferocious dry burnouts, fiery launches. They're all part of the funny car experience of nighttime racing. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Firebird International Raceway's Night of Thrills. A great night of racing in store for us here tonight. The fireworks are going off, and we're just about ready to get underway with Nitro Funny Car action. Look at that. It's the Wienermobile leading off the parade here at Firebird tonight. Some of the top pro funny cars right behind them. Leading the parade is Johnny Force's Castrol GTX Oldsmobile, and directly behind him, over a dozen of the nation's top fiberglass-bodied funny cars. These flip-top cars are wild at night. Wait till you see the fire here. So get ready. Hang on to your hat. Grab yourself a seat. The Nitro funny cars are just about ready to explode here at Firebird.
Ron, are you ready?
And running is the first pair of Nitro funny cars here tonight. It'll be Ron Sutherland's car he calls the Desert Rat. The stands are packed, the tower's all lit up. We are ready for some exciting funny car action. The body going down on the Desert Rat. He's getting ready to make his burnout. It's Chris Lane behind the wheel. He's pulling up in the left-hand lane. His competition on the right side from nearby Chandler, Arizona, is Mr. Johnny West.
Nitro funny cars at night. The combination creates one of the most nerve-bending experiences in motorsports. What once was a peaceful night instantly becomes a battleground as volatile nitro flows through 4,000 horsepower engines. These are nitro-burning funny cars, one of the most dangerous forms of motorsports. They accelerate faster than just about anything, weighing about 2,000 pounds, built out of chrome moly tubing, covered with a fiberglass replica body of some late-model Detroit iron. Now, these cars are powered by 4,000 horsepower, supercharged, fuel-injected nitro-burning racing engines. Now, Lane stages himself up in those light beams that go across the track. So does West. He inches in very carefully. They're off. Side by side, look at those header flames shooting out of the pipes at night. West starts to pull ahead at the big end and takes the win. 571 at 246 miles per hour. Take another look at it. Racing at night is an awesome experience for everyone at the track. For the drivers, shooting headlong into the darkness demands an extra dose of courage. But for the fans, the thrill sparked by the sights and sounds of these powerful beasts is heightened even higher.
The body comes down on the brand new Dodge Charger of Roland Leong, sponsored by Hawaiian Punch, driven tonight by Mr. Jimmy White. Now, this is a real swoopy piece of equipment. This body has spent many hours in Chrysler's wind tunnel and is a real aerodynamic piece. In the right lane, it's the Impulse Corvette.
Adding to the fire of a ferocious burnout is smoke, a billowing cloud that obscures everything around it. The heat is back in the engines. The air again stings with nitro fumes. Burnout smoke once more hangs heavy in the air. They paw at the ground, they growl, they bark. They seem to explode into flame. Nothing in motorsports is as violent as the launch of a nitro funny car. Team owner Roland Leon brings his driver Jimmy White into the beams with his Hawaiian Punch Dodge. They're taking on the wild Impulse Corvette. Both drivers inching very carefully into those electronic staging beams. They're off, and the Hawaiian Punch goes up in a cloud of smoke. The Impulse brakes, and there goes Jimmy White on his way. Takes the win of 669, 221 miles an hour. In a flash, the cars ignite with header fire. For an instant, they seem to leap off the ground and hang motionless. But a moment later, they are under full power, screaming for the finish line.
Fire up the next pair in the right-hand lane. The crowd favorite, John Brute Force, out of Yorba Linda, California. He'll be taking on Mr. Jimmy Murphy in the car he calls Holy Smokes. Okay, both cars fired and running. The body's coming down, and they're moving towards the burnout box in preparation for the burnout. Yeah, what a burnout! Force really smoking in this place! Look at the tire smoke pattern from Jim Murphy's car. Boy, what a pretty sight. Now compare it with John the Brute Force, the king of the burnouts. Beautiful Holy Smokes car starts making its way back towards the starting line. The driver with the roof hatch open to let those nitro fumes, that clutch dust, and all that tire smoke out of the driver's compartment. And hopefully to let some fresh air in so the driver can breathe. The body comes up on John Force's car so that crew chief Austin Coyle can go underneath and connect the second ignition system. They use one ignition system to do the burnout and two to make the actual run. John Harmson shakes hands with John Force, makes sure everything is ready, secures the roof hatch, and we're just about ready to race. Now Murphy is in the stage beam ready to go. Very carefully, crew chief Austin Coyle lines up John Force on the starting line. They're both in pre-stage. Now they move carefully into the staging beam. Murphy's in first. Here comes Force. They're off, side by side off the starting line. Force smokes the tires. Murphy recovers and drives on around him. Holy smokes, what an upset here! Now at night you can tell who leaves the starting line first by how the header flames come out. Notice how the tree turns green and just instantaneously both drivers are on the loud pedal. Side by side off the starting line, spewing sheets of flame into the air. Before smokes the tires had the pedal. You saw the flames go down. He got back in it, but just couldn't recover fast enough. Murphy gets a big win here. The timing tower gives the signal to fire the next pair.
Okay, we all set now?
It'll be the Jam Air Special taking on the Teacher's Pet.
Jim, we're ready? You guys are ready? Let's go ahead and fire them up!
This is the beautiful high-tech Jam Air Special of John Martin. All the latest technology. He's got the computers, he's got the timers, he's got the hydraulics. He'll be taking on the seat-of-the-pants driver, Gary Densham, and his Teacher's Pet. This is Gary Densham. He calls his car the Teacher's Pet. Why? Because he's an auto shop teacher from Cerritos, California. Now, he runs this whole operation out of his back pocket. There's no big buck sponsor here. He can't afford the high-dollar computer. He can't afford the real trick clutch. He can't afford the dual fuel pump that makes these cars go really, really fast. A lot of Densham's crew are ex-students of his who like to come to the races and help him work on his car. Now, what Densham lacks in money, he makes up in showmanship. He's considered, without a doubt, one of the best funny cars at night, always putting big header flames into the nighttime sky. And Martin has a problem. Densham all the way. Oh, a great run there. Light atop the Christmas tree. Light defining the quarter-mile challenge. Light engulfing the cars. And for one car, the win light at the end of the tunnel. And that finishes up first round of Nitro Funny Car.
Ronnie, what's the problem? Go, Tower. This is round 2. 10-4. Ron, you all set to go? You gentlemen ready to go? Let's fire them up!
We're fired up for the second round of Nitro Funny Car action here at Firebird International Raceway. In the right lane, it's Ron Sutherland's Desert Rat with Chris Lane aboard. He'll be taking on the wild Impulse Corvette. Oh boy, a pair of side-by-side super smoky burnouts and the crowd goes crazy. You can literally feel the ground vibrate here at Firebird International Raceway as these 4,000 horsepower monsters come to the line. Get ready for what they call a dry hop. It's one last test of man and machine before they bring it to the starting line. A quick stab of the throttle to make sure everything's okay. Now the starter looking under the Desert Rat, giving him the signal to shut it off. A crew member pushes the starter away. He says it's okay, we got a confrontation there. The starter trying to make up his mind. Is he going to let the car go down the track or not? I don't think so. The Impulse Corvette pulling in on a single. He'll be making a single pass. And he boils the tires right off the starting line. Next pair ready to go. It's Roland Leong's Hawaiian Punch Dodge with Jimmy White driving. He'll be taking on the man that used to drive this car, Mr. Johnny West, who struck out on his own, built his own race car, and is going to try to show his old boss how it's done on the quarter mile. Come to life at night. Look at that red, white, and blue Hawaiian Punch car. The cockpit gets so dark at night, a crew member's got to shine a flashlight inside so the driver can make one last final check of the oil pressure gauge. So rolling out front, guiding him into the beam, guiding him into the track where he made his burnout. He wants to get all the bite he can. Now they start pulling towards the starting line. West inches in first, lighting the little yellow bulb on top of the Christmas tree that signifies when they're staged and pre-staged and ready to go. They leave the starting line as one. White has the advantage, starts to pull ahead mid-track, streaks through the wind, takes it 565 at almost 240 miles an hour. Okay, now let's take a look at a funny car launch at night. It's very impressive. The drivers line up on the starting line. The tree goes in motion. They stomp on the loud pedal. Header flames shoot over the roof of the car. The car starts to accelerate. The tires start to grow. The car is hooking up. The driver experiencing 3 to 4 Gs right now. Right about in the middle of the track, they shift it and they go for broke. The next pair fired and running. Here we go. Gary Densham's Teacher Tech taking on John Brute Force, and there seems to be a problem over there. They seem to have problems lowering the body down onto the chassis. There must be some kind of mounting mechanism or the pin or the release pin. Something is broken. Something is bad. And here comes Densham into the burnout box. Now back at the starting line, John Forrest is having big problems. His crew chief, Austin Coyle, runs over. They're doing something in the rear of the car. We believe it's a body mounting hinge or a release pin or something like that is giving them problems. But it will not allow them to lower down the body on the funny car. Repeatedly they try, but they have got big problems. And if they can't get that body locked down, they cannot run. Now crew chief Austin Coyle drags his finger across his throat, telling John Forrest to shut it down, and it looks like Gary Dencham's going to go down on a single run. But that's all right with us, because he's a show all by himself. Leads the starting line like it was shot out of a cannon, straight as an arrow, cranks out a 5.86. Impressive show by Gary Dencham as Henry Velasco and the rest of the Teacher's Pet crew head back to the pits. Next up, John Martin in the Jam Air car.
They do a church behind the line. I'll let them get their body down.
Working on one of these cars at night is hard enough, but try doing it at night. It's almost impossible.
Phoenix, let's go!
So here we go, the next pair fired and running, ready to go. It'll be John Jam Air Martin in the Jam Air Special, taking on the brand new car out of Phoenix, aptly enough called the Phoenix. Ron Fossil behind the wheel of the Phoenix car as John Martin over there in the other lane is getting pushed back by his crew. Evidently his reverse gear and his transmission has broken. Now Fossil sits very patiently waiting on the starting line for Jam Air to get back as his engine sits there idling, building up heat. And heat means horsepower, and if he builds up enough horsepower, he's going to have to make some adjustments when he leaves the starting line. Now the starter is frantically motioning John Martin to pull into the beam. He knows what the situation is. He knows Fossil's sitting there waiting, but doesn't want to wait too long. Now the hotter these cars get, the more likely they are to become a time bomb. They can literally explode without any notice, and the hotter they get, the more dangerous they are to drive. But they're ready to go. And John Martin, header flame shooting over his roof, leads all the way down and takes this win here. Now we have a real unique situation. Two cars that came up to run before, both were shut off. They both went back into the pits, made repairs, and they're back out here ready to make a pass and thrill the fans. It'll be John Brute Ford, who had problems lowering his body before, taking on Ron Sutherland's Desert Rat with Chris Lane driving. boy, Lane's car really shooting out those nitro flames as the body comes down and he gets ready to do his burnout. The intensity of night racing. Ladies and gentlemen, can you imagine what it's like to drive one of these cars? You're all confined inside the real tight roll cage, wearing a fire suit and a helmet. You can hardly breathe because of the fumes. You can hardly see down the drag strip, and yet you're about ready to take a trip down a quarter mile in 5.5 seconds at over 260 miles an hour. Boy, now Chris Lane has another problem. He can't get his car out of reverse. It's stuck in backwards gear. Austin Coyle tells John Force, we're ready. Tells the starter, what about the other guy? Starter makes the decision, bring him on in, John. You're going to go down on a single. So John Brute Force is going to go down this dark drag strip all by himself. Off the starting line like a rocket, straight as an arrow. He's got a good one going. He cranks out a 552, almost 270 miles an hour. That 552 of Force is low ET of the meet. That finishes the second round, and we're all set and ready to go for our finals. Okay, now firing up for the final round, here is the battle. It's between Roland Leong's Hawaiian Punch Dodge car taking on Gary Densham and his teacher's pet Pontiac. Jimmy White driving the Hawaiian into the burnout box, getting ready to do his burnout. And here comes the world's fastest school teacher, Gary Densham. This is it, the final round, and that Hawaiian Punch team headed up by Roland Leong is looking real strong here tonight at Firebird. Both cars now backing up towards the starting line, getting ready for the most important race of the night, the final round for Nitro Funny Car. Both of these drivers want to win this battle. Not only is it the money, but it's the glory and the bragging rights tomorrow. Gary Densham would love to go back to school and say, yeah, I blew the Hawaiian Punch car into the weeds last night at Firebird. Pulling into the pre-stage and then the stage beams. Here we go. We're set and ready. They're both in. What a great side-by-side start. Anybody's race. The Hawaiian starts to pull ahead at the big end, takes the win with a great 5:54 elapsed time for Jimmy White. So that's it from Firebird International Raceway. We hope you enjoyed Night of Thrills. A great big win for Jimmy White driving Roland Leong's car. A final round, 5:54, gets him the gold.
K-Rock, Night of Thrills is unreal. I've been coming for the last 3 years. I mean, it's unreal.
lot of noise, it's fun, and it's good.
It's a little loud, but it's okay.
That's the best part of it, the noise.
I like to smoke big. Lots of smoke.
My kids race, and they got me interested in racing. The last year and a half, that's all I do is come down here. It's fantastic. Nothing else like it. And for a man my age, I'm saying something.
Oh, it's fun, it's exciting. It's my first time out here. My friend said it was going to be boring, but it's really great. Chris Mitchell was wrong.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Raceway Park, Englishtown, New Jersey, for the 20th annual Super Funny Car Spectacular, featuring Dominic Santucci and his Black Magic T-Bird.
Night racing, I think, is the most dangerous because you can't see quite where you're going down the other end in a lot of tracks. A track like Englishtown, of course you can, but you know these cars as well as I do. They get pretty spooky down there, and I think that you'll find out that in night racing, it's the most exciting, I think, for the spectator, but I don't think it's as exciting for the drivers in the car.
You've seen the best in the West from Firebird. Now, here's some of the best East Coast flopper action. Chuck Etchell's the beautiful Future Force Beretta taking on Dominic Santucci's real pretty Black Magic T-Bird. They're staged. They're ready to go. Inching into the beams very carefully. They got a green and they're off, side by side. Etchell's had the pedal. Santucci's flying. He takes the win. A 577 at almost 255 miles an hour. This is Frank Kramberger, owner and driver of the Philadelphia Flyer, but he's known to his fans as Frankie the Flame.
It's dark. This thing's thumping and banging real hard. You close the body, it gets real dark, and plexiglass isn't the best. You can't see through it real good. These things shake a lot. It vibrates around a whole lot. And in the daytime, at least you can tell where you are on the track. At nighttime when you go out there and it starts to shake with the amount of clutch dust we have, you get disoriented. And it just, you can't really tell where you are anymore.
Burnouts complete, tire smoke and nitro fumes covering the track. They back up towards the starting line. Kramberger going up against an all-new Teacher's Pet car. Denham's new ride is a real pretty Ford Thunderbird. Kramberger, that's the old Philadelphia Flyer. He's got a brand new T-Bird on order with a beautiful Kenny Youngblood paint scheme. There seems to be a problem with Kramberger's car. His crew is shutting him off. Englishtown starter Tommy Rusko gives Denham the single. He's going down on a bye run as Kramberger is pushed back towards the pits. Denham leaves the starting line like a rocket, straight as an arrow. A good pass for him. He cranks out a 576.
It's really difficult for us to try and, when we get out there 200-300 feet, if we have to make a mid-course correction, if I'm smoking the tires, I have to backpedal a little bit. It's a real challenge. That's probably what makes these race cars really exciting for us is no two runs are ever the same. And of course, getting her down to the finish line from A to B when you're kind of going through a tunnel accelerating at a high rate of speed. You just get your adrenaline up, and it kind of puts a little edge on it. But it's a fine line to walk, and most people, you know, can never experience that. Still a heck of a kick, because when the blue flames are shooting up inside of the car and the car is accelerating towards the finish line, at night it's like driving into a closet at 280 miles an hour. It's like a dimension that nobody's even aware of experiencing and all that. But there's a few of us that do.
Brooklyn-born racer Jerry Caminito backs the beautiful Blue Thunder Oldsmobile back to the starting line. Both drivers staging very carefully. The start is the most important part of any drag race. They wait for the green. They get it, they're off. Caminito's out first and starting to lead. He's going for the eyes. He takes the win with a 6:17.
Drag racing, that to me has to be the greatest sport in the world. Where else can you play? It's to watch these guys work on the cars and actually learn a little bit about the engines and cars and actually meet the drivers.
It's worth all the work. It beats having a job for a living.
My first drag race was in 1965. My cousin took me, and I've been hooked ever since. To me, it's the greatest sport, but the one particular thing that makes this outstanding versus all the other sports is you can get in with the action. You can't do it with baseball, you can't do it with football or any other sport, but you're right here with the drivers, and all the action is the greatest.
In a cockpit, he's looking out that little old tiny window. He's got 4,000 horsepower sitting staring him right in the face, and clutch dust and smoke. You give us speeds of over 200 miles an hour, and you add the fire and the flame and the fuel, nothing like it. Tire smoke never has been as exciting as it is at nighttime. Give me a nighttime race, and that's where it's at. Fire, smoke out of the pipes, cars on fire racing, there's nothing like it. Give me a hot dog, put me up in the stands, and I'll watch a show anytime. Daytime racing, I love it, but nighttime racing's even better. About. I was raised on the streets of California, and I took my race car to the local strips like Irwindale, Lyons, and Orange County Raceway. And that's where I met the likes of Don Perdome, Tom McEwen, and Big Daddy Don Garland. There was nothing like the spectacular of racing under the lights.
Next up, ladies and gentlemen, here's the man they call Chuck E. Chuck G. Chucky, Chuck Etchell out of Woodstock, Connecticut.